Lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe. It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Ah.
Oh, look at this.
Wow, look at that. Nice.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are you looking at? You see the curtain? See the way it goes this way?
Day after
You see
Valentine's.
that?
The
Where are the
day
balloons?
after Valentine's
Oh.
Day.
Why is that there?
It's all about love still. Self-love. Don't you remember the show we just finished with Reinvented Life? Self-love.
Yes.
The journey of life. Happy Thursday to you.
Happy Thursday to you. I feel
Follow
like
us.
I've woke up and I've been doing shows since I got up.
See that? Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Brooklyn Cafe TV for exclusive behind-the-scenes content and AMP2 TV Network. The Brooklyn Cafe Show is just one of the shows that we produce right here at the studio, so tune in for all of the shows. Check them all out on our YouTube channel at AMP2 Media and see all the great content, ideas, and hosts that we have joining us each and every week.
And actually, we are going to launch the network on Monday. I'm going to be working on it this weekend. Shorty and maybe Jalen, that. I'm going to put them in charge of doing that so we can put all the shows together in one venue with a subscription that's going to be attached to it. And the reason why I will explain at a future date.
Very nice. How'd you like Chanel's show today?
I love Chanel's show. The problem with Chanel's show is that there's not enough Chanel.
Well, now there's going to be because she broke her foot, so she's not allowed to drive for 12 weeks, which means she's going to have a lot of time to put the network together.
Wow. It's funny the way things work.
Isn't it funny that way?
We can ask our, who.
Our in-house numerologists. We've had astrologers. We've had psychics. Michelle Landers.
But numbers don't lie.
Numbers.
That's what I was told.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers never lie.
Numbers and stars don't lie. And she says, why every time she comes, are you always going through a change? I think you're always going through a change.
I'm changing again.
You're going through your changes, but yet,
I used to be
menopause.
6'8", and now I'm 5'10". I've changed.
Menopause.
Every time she comes, who?
Menopause.
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 Every time she comes, I shrink a little more.
LJ thinks we look tired. We've done
LJ, thank you for the compliments.
three shows today in the
Thank you.
past 3 hours. This will be our third show.
He's such a sweetheart.
That's what happens when you're in video and movie production.
Yeah. But yes, it's nice to have a numbers person's perspective this time.
A
How
lot
the
of things.
stars
A lot of
align.
things happening and changing. Wow, are they changing? I got to tell you.
Yeah, but they're changing, but you got to make adjustments. We did an interview with Chanel, who's our San Francisco affiliate, because we want to open up AMP out there as well. And, she's a big San Francisco 49er fan who lost to Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And we all agreed that San Francisco was the better team that day. They just wanted it so much, so bad. The numbers weren't right. The numbers weren't right. It's funny because I hear you telling me that. When you walked in here and we talked about San Francisco, I heard you tell me the reason Frisco did not win is that numbers weren't right. Is that true?
We got to have Michelle take her mic.
Okay.
No, she's got one right next to her.
Ah,
Behind
Just take
you.
it out of the carriage. And her numbers weren't correct.
is this on?
Yes.
Really? Is it on?
Yes,
No.
it's on. They hear you. Yes.
Oh, okay. They can hear me. Well, it is all about numbers, okay? But I won't get into the specifics of exactly what was going on for this game, but I have to tell you there's something else involved too. There's tendencies, like numbers give you tendencies. And if you follow that tendency, it's going to turn out a certain way. But the other part of it is we had all of this energy. You know, there's all of this energy that's contributing to one team or the other. And so there had to be a really, 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 really intense energy that was pushing. Who won again? Kansas City won,
Kansas City won, yeah.
All right. I was at a party, but I wasn't paying attention to the game. So it has to do with numbers, and it's really true. Numbers don't lie, but numbers give you tendencies, not necessarily the absolute outcome. Like I knew from, you know, I grabbed your charts early this morning, and I saw that I went, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Freddie is going through changes again.
I am.
Okay.
But you know, that's the story of my DNA. Everything in my life has always been a giant. Here we go
That's
again.
because it's your name.
It's my name.
Well, it was a name that you were given at birth, but along with that, before birth, you had a contract that you had to fulfill, a mission.
Who the hell did I make that contract with?
I could check that out.
Thank you.
But it's with your soul group. So we could go really deep, how far back we want to go and how deep we want to go with this.
Let's go deep, Michelle. Let's find the
No,
well.
we don't need
Oh
to
my
go.
gosh.
No.
Dig into that well.
Time out. We don't need to go on the air deep. But
You
I'll
don't
tell
want
you.
to go that deep?
No, not on the air.
It's good to
but,
go.
But I'll tell
deep.
you something. You're 120% correct, because I can even tell you that it goes back to high school. I couldn't go to a high school. I didn't go to the high school I wanted to go to. I ended up going to another high school, and I ended up leaving that high school to go to a third high school. And then I ended up going to NYU after 6 other schools. I was going to go to Marquette and everything else. Ended up going to NYU. Ended up getting approved to go to DePaul University Law School. Didn't do that either. Went to work with my dad, like Garcia does, for different reasons. You want to talk about change? Been married twice. I'm going to have my 5th grandson.
Congratulations.
5th grandchild.
Son.
4th grandson.
Yeah.
My 4th grandson. One's a girl, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm losing track. I mean, you want to talk about changes? Thank you. Spring in my chair broke. But there has never been ever. So now I've learned to expect it. Now I've learned to make adjustments and say, okay, here comes the change. And you know, this all started with you, because I was never aware of the change until you brought it up.
Really?
Yes, I just
I'm
lived
so
it.
glad that I gave you some perspective.
That's why when you come, I get kind of scared, because I don't know what you're going to tell me
So
next.
you're going to flow with the changes, right?
I have to.
Yeah,
That's
you
just
really-
my nature.
Right.
But I
Right.
just want people to know, if you want to work with this lady, she's always been on the money with me. Always been.
What type of changes is he going through?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You went from A to Z, and no one knows what Michelle does.
No, okay.
Okay.
You can,
Okay. Okay, a little disclaimer here. I just printed out what your numbers were right now, but you know how long it takes me to do a chart in depth. So all I picked up immediately, and for you too, Dawn, there's new things happening for you as well. But the first thing that jumped out to me is I said, oh boy, here we go again. You know, that he's going through new, and also some emotional changes as well. You know, it's not just physical changes, but emotional changes, new beginnings, new starts. Interestingly for you, Don, you're starting a long-term transit that is going to keep building money, 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 and that long-term is about an 8-year cycle that's starting for you.
She's going to be like an annuity for 8 years?
Like an annuity, exactly.
You better make some adjustments.
How you doing? Somebody get this lady some coffee and some food, whatever she needs. Wow.
So there's lots of, you know, between the two of you, which it's interesting because you go through different changes, but it seems that there are shifts along the way that, you know, yours might be different, but you go through these different shifts as well. And I don't know what's going on with real estate with you, but again, that popped up. But this year is a money year for you.
Oh, you mentioned something with real estate.
Yeah?
How come I don't see no money on this side? What's the matter?
It's
I
not
get the
that
poor farm and she gets the rich farm?
I don't
really?
know. It's not that I don't see it for you. And all I could say is, well, how's that saying go? Attach your wagon to her star. And
Wow. Wow. Where's the other bell? Wow.
It's interesting. The real estate thing, I don't know, but the money aspect is something that you and I have been working on with the crew and other people.
She ain't talking about that. She's talking about you. I gotta hitch myself to the rising star.
You gotta jump on the bandwagon.
Me, I'm all over the place. You're just going in one direction. Where'd she go?
maybe I want to rethink that, what I just said, okay? Maybe I just want to reword that, all right?
You believe this?
No, you have very good numbers too. It's just that this year you're 8. You have a lot of stuff that is focused, on money. But the whole year, planetarily, is focused on, number 1, power, and then concurrently with that, money aspects. So our money system is definitely going to change. I'm not saying it's going to change right now, but do you want me to talk about the forecast for the year?
Why don't we go to commercial break?
Yes, because I got to go
Let
get
people
some
get
handkerchiefs.
their pen and their paper out, or their phones, because no one actually uses pen and paper anymore. Get out your phones, because we're going to give you all of Michelle's contact information, because she can create your numerology chart as well. She's been working with us, oh my gosh, it's got to be 6 years. And she was always, no pun intended, she is always on the money. So more to come on the other side of this break. We've got LJ Ugarte joining us as well. So stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Amp Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties. Open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Amp Media Productions is excited to announce our expansion into North Miami. With our experienced team of radio and TV professionals, we are dedicated to bringing North Miami the highest quality audio and visual production services. Whether you need radio or television commercials, podcasts, music videos, or audio and visual storytelling, we can provide the solutions to help you reach your goals. Our team is reliable, innovative, and creative, and we're ready to help you develop the perfect product. With our competitive rates and personalized service, you can trust that your project is in the best hands. Contact us today to get started on your project. 866-224-5422. 5422.
South Florida's Good Time Oldies. Now, Boca and Delray Beach have their own oldie station. Catch us on 95.3 FM. It's the greatest rock and roll hits of the 60s and 70s. On South Florida's Good Time Oldies, 95.3 FM.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm looking at them changing lights. They're
learning. LJ, Frank says hello. Hello. We invited Frank to join us. He couldn't make it today,
wife
but
is at the clinic.
he sends his regards. Correct.
Send him my love.
LJ sends his love, Frank. All right, so we had a brief discussion with Michelle Landers. That's one L in Michelle Landers if you're looking her up on social media. She has done our numerology charts since we were up at the other studio. It's got to be 6 years. And from that very first chart she did, she is always on point. Always. So I love it when Michelle's in town because she only is down this way a couple months out of the year. So I'm glad she's here. And Pooja, you just, go ahead. You're not, there you go. Just plugging in a light. Michelle briefly started talking about some change and some things, but let's back up a little bit. When you do somebody's chart in numerology, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at, excuse me, I'm looking at their full name on their birth certificate and their birth date. And that's really all the information I need. It helps sometimes, I mean, I do a little bit of astrology, so it helps if I do have their time of birth and their place of birth, but it's not necessary at all to do a numerology chart. And a chart is basically about why you're here, you know, why you are who you are, why you're here, what your destiny is, what your mission. Everybody in life, as far as I'm concerned, has a purpose. And sometimes we struggle with what is that. And most of the time, the numerology will reveal something that you either felt compelled to do and you never had the self-confidence to do it, or it just will validate what you are doing right now in this present life. But again, everybody's born with a gift. And I always say, if you love to make ice cream, or then be the best damn ice cream maker around. There are no lowly or lofty destinies or missions in this life. We're here to help one another and do the best we can with the talents that we have.
So I have a question.
Yes.
So if there's an event that's happening, like LJ has a movie coming out, or I've been asked to cover an event that could lead to bigger and more beautiful, more bold things, do the numbers reveal whether or not you, number one, should do it, not do it? The numbers reveal the success of it, or is it something that you have to believe in yourself to get that accomplished, no matter what the numbers say?
I think that both things are equally true. And in life, that's pretty much, you know, it's a yin and yang world. It's a, you know, an up and down and a good and bad. And there's nothing that is 100% good or 100% bad. As an example, like fire. You know, fire is wonderful, but it can be destructive. Water, the same thing. But to your question, when you go really, really deep in the numbers, you can tell which days are better and which days aren't, which names are better, which aren't, that type of thing. But for you, I also noticed, Freddie, that for you, this year there should be some type of glamorous aspect to it. So,
glamorous?
Yeah. You're in a very, very creative year, a 3-year that's very creative, but that's also dealing with younger people, youth, but glamorous situations. So you may find yourself in situations where you're either very much a part of it and creating something, or you're asked to be a part of it, for somebody to come in, ask for you to come in and be part of the ceremonies or something like that, or you will be, does that make sense?
Oh my God, from your mouth to God's ear, I'm going to be, that's me, the dog. I'm going to be Aunt Lantern. I would love an opportunity like that. Can you imagine?
But you can tell from birth charts what the person's purpose in life is
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
based on their name.
I should hang out more with you. Why don't we make an office for you here? You can tell me what days yes and what days no. I mean, it really comes down to it.
I can do that.
I know you can.
I really can, but I will tell you it is a lot of work. I don't even do it for myself anymore. It takes so long. But I can do it.
If you do it once, you have to redo it every time you do it?
Oh, yeah, because well, maybe I'm misunderstanding, but you're talking about certain dates, right?
Well, there are some days you should do something and some days you
okay.
shouldn't.
There are certain days that are, that isn't as, do I want to say challenging? That's not really the word.
It's okay, I get it.
Yeah. It's more in depth to do it like for the year, to chart every single day, my God. But, there are certain days that are better for you, generally speaking, than others. And so you want to, if you really want to get into it with the numerology, you want to kind of focus on those really positive days for you and as much as possible. But again, there's no absolutes. I know some people live and die by readings, astrology, numerology, and I don't think that's healthy either. I think it's a great guidepost. I think it's a wonderful guide, a wonderful way, to navigate through life. And as an example, I'll just use Dawn, too, as an example right now. Like, you're in an 8th year, and you can push things to the hilt this year. Really, it's just like the year 2024 that we're in, which resonates to the number 8. The number 8 for you, Dawn, is power and money and pushing things, as far as you feel comfortable. Let's put it that way, as far as you feel comfortable. But I also notice like there are other aspects in your chart that support that. Because for some people, even though they might be in an 8th year, an 8 numerological year, some of the other aspects in their chart might say, okay, you can do this, but take this a little bit slow. Whereas yours is saying push full steam ahead. And yours is in a different way, Freddie, and in the very creative. Yours is all about the money, and yours is about being more.
Mine's is about the spending, and hers is about the making.
Well, you can.
I can hear it already. You're ringing my ears.
And my peanut butter. It's like a Reese's cup.
Yeah, but you're like $1 million peanut butter cup.
Guess you're going to be nice to me.
I'm like a deficit peanut butter cup, jelly cup.
But, one of the things I just want to mention, and I don't want to take, so much time up here, but we have just entered into an incredible transit that hasn't been around for like 222 years. And that is Pluto in Aquarius. And Pluto's been in Capricorn for about 20 years. But the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, there was the American Revolution, the French Revolution, I think there was an Irish uprising, and before that, it was the Reformation. So you get where this is going. This is about power to the people. Aquarius is a sign of, just wanting everybody to be happy. And everything, it's all inclusive. Everybody should, be part of the whole, paying more attention to whatever is left, I guess, of the middle class and the lower class, whatever. So that's what Aquarius is about, and Pluto is the destroyer. So it might sound like contradictory. Pluto is destroying those things in Aquarius, but it's not. It's destroying those barriers that would allow Aquarius to shine. And Aquarius, so we are going to see, the other thing about Aquarius, it's all about aviation, it's about forward thinking, it's about AI. The changes in AI are going to be breathtaking. And then there's going to be challenges with that.
It's funny you say that because they made an announcement today, Congress at White House and the president are meeting because it was discovered that the Russians are putting something into space. It's the second satellite that they shot up that can become a threat to us and the rest of the world, allegedly. Allegedly. Doesn't mean it's true. This is just what I saw on the news. And here you are talking about the same exact thing that they were bringing up today. So it's kind of eerie.
It is eerie. And so Pluto in Aquarius will be around for about 20-some years. So we're going to see this building more and more, the good part of it and the challenging part. What is the challenging or the negative part? What you're talking, what you just said right now. That's because everybody's going to be on board with this and making strides, forward strides, and discoveries underwater, as a matter of fact, too. You know, discovery going into the ocean. So it's going to be a wild ride for the next 20-some years. But as far as, I know a lot of people say, well, what about money? What about, I don't see us going into any kind of recession or anything like that for a while. I don't see it right now, and I want to hold off about next year because I still have to do a lot of research on that. But right now, it looks good. But there's definitely going to be a change in, I think it's the CBDC, which is the central banking system, that is going to change. But there's going to be so many advances in the biotech field and biomedical field. And a funny little thing about that is I was talking to my financial guy, and he was saying about switching some of my investments to biomedical stocks. And I said, well, that's so funny because I agree with you. I agree with you because numerologically there are a lot of changes and advances that are going on in the medical community. And you saw what Elon Musk just came up with, the Neuralink.
Yep. It's all interesting. But what's so amazing to me is that based on the name that your parents give you at birth, whether you're named after somebody, for somebody, how that name comes, that name is really what positions you in your life's calling and how those numbers turn out. And as parents, I don't think we know that going in.
It's your contract.
But we're not choosing that, or maybe we are choosing those names.
No, these are contracts that have been done before you even thought of.
Isn't that interesting?
Apparently.
That's it. And picture it like this, like before you were born, because we come back with the same soul groups over and over again, but that soul group is fairly large. You know, it's like I was just talking to someone in Argentina, and he was doing a reading on me, and I had an interpreter because I don't understand Spanish, but well, there's a few words I did understand, But he was talking about, all of my previous lives, and like, there are thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people that you come back with, and it goes like this: hey, we're gonna get together in this next life. You're gonna be my mother. You're gonna be my father. I know I was your mother last time, but we're going to switch it up a little bit. Wow. There are certain lessons I need to learn, you need to learn, so we got a contract to do that. Okay. And then your time of birth comes into play with astrology, then your name, everything is connected to the point where, to me, and this is my personal belief, that it's friggin' mind-boggling because we're in this quantum soup and that we're all connected, and I don't think we understand the depth of that and how our thoughts and our feelings just go out, like waves that you can't see, affecting everyone around us and boomeranging back. And
well, then I'm intrigued because apparently you've been missioned to deliver the message.
Well, my life path, listen to this, my life path is a 3. And that is about words and about creation. And yeah, I've written a couple of books. I love to write. I do blogs. I do all that stuff. And I love to create. And I used to paint. I used to draw. And then something happened, which I won't go into right now. But it's not a cute story. It's an interesting story. And I haven't ever picked up a paintbrush again. And I do plan on doing it this year. But to your point, I got into the medical field early on, and because of that, so what's the short story? It was a neurosurgeon I was fascinated by how the brain worked, right? And then we opened up a pain clinic, and I got a glimpse of how the mind worked. And I'm leaving out so much, but the bottom line was I fell through the rabbit hole because I started investigating and paying attention to what does this talk about Eastern philosophies? What is that all about? And before you know it, I discovered this whole new world of Eastern philosophies and then tiptoe into quantum physics. Now, do I understand quantum physics? Absolutely not. Quantum physicists don't fully understand quantum physics, but I can tell you that a fated meeting I had with Dr. Edgar Mitchell, he was the sixth man who walked on the moon.
Wow.
And that story, how I met him, is another example, which I won't go into now, but it's another example of mind co-creating reality. And it wasn't him in particular, but I wanted a man of science to validate all of these things that I was discovering and reading about that fascinated me, about the quantum field, about how we co-create our reality, about numerology, all of these kind of weird things, because I am an Aquarius, so.
And what, your number is 3, hers is 8. What's my number?
Oh, no, well, my
That's
life path is 3. I forgot what your life path is, and I forgot what your life path is. Tell
But you said that Dawn was an 8?
Well,
An
she's
8
in an
year.
8 personal year this year. That's different than your life path.
I got you.
Yeah.
And you look at all the names. It's fascinating. I think I have my chart from the last time. I can pull it up during commercial break and see what the life path is.
It's interesting because she tells you what's going on, and then you look at the different aspects of your life. Like all of a sudden, I'm surrounded, like Nike and Pokemon over here, in the business aspect, in the numbers, in the logistics number aspects.
Oh.
And I've been given this challenge of how to incorporate what they're going to school for. I hate this shot, by the way. It's too close. I love having this new challenge because in my business, it tells me I have to use their expertise to grow the next challenge that I want to accomplish, which is diversification and its growth. And I got to figure out how they fit in.
And that's youth,
That's
right?
yes, but this is
Yes.
my DNA, and you're describing it. For the first time, I can actually see it. What you're telling me, I can actually read it. And I have another 2 coming tomorrow that do what they do. So I'm surrounded all of a sudden by a message about you have to go in a different direction that I have not been taken advantage of, and that I should, to grow what we want to get done here so you can hit your big money.
Don't you wonder what changes you're going through?
No, I don't wonder. I just take it and go. It's like you jump in the pool, you know you're going to get wet. So let's go
Just
swimming.
laughing.
That's a perfect example of how the numbers play out, because it's this year, as I said before, it's about more youth, okay? Involvement with more youth, but also somehow, and those are 2 separate things, youth, but also glamour. And I'm not sure how that's going to manifest, but I can practically guarantee that it will manifest. And that's always relative to your life. So be on the lookout for that, but that's good. It's a very creative year for you.
Excellent. Well, youth, you know, I got to give Lynn University, I got to give FAU a lot of credit. Broward, all the universities, for all the producers that we have in-house, is the youth movement on this. Then we just did something on Tuesday with Lynn University, and there's 22 of them that we had to reach out. One of them actually was bold enough to come in here today. But I love the youth movement. I've always said, ever since I've been coaching, I started with 5-year-olds and went all the way to 21s. Ever since I've been coaching, I always said that if you want a better tomorrow, you better take care of the youth.
Yes.
Always been that way, right?
Sure.
That and if that's what is supposed to happen, I'm all in. The glamour, I don't know what the glamour means.
Well, we'll
I guess
see.
figure
But
it
if
out.
you're invited to some kind of glamorous event,
You have to come with me.
well, yeah, you have to tell them, well, I have to bring my numerologist. That's how I met Dr. Edgar Mitchell, because he was meeting with the co-creator of this film that I brought to South Florida, and his guy came and said, Dr. Mitchell would like to talk to you, because the film Leap was created by Chad Cameron, who has a science background. But the bottom line was I went to meet Edgar Mitchell with a few other people, and I said, look, I just have one question, because a lot of the conversation, was way over my head. But I said, I really would like to know if the things like telepathy and psychic phenomena and law of attraction, co-creating your reality, I'm just wondering, does all of this, is the reason why many of these things work, is the basis in quantum physics? What is the reason, is the generator, so to speak, and that's probably the wrong word, of these things when they do work, is it because of the quantum world? And he said, absolutely. That's all I needed to feel confident to keep doing what I was doing, because when I started doing it, like in the 80s, there weren't a lot of, if you did something like that, a lot of people thought,
it was woo.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. They gave me the stink eye or something like that. So now I feel that it's really like a science.
And it's going to be in California, because ever since the summer of last year, I've had a calling that something's going to happen out west.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Something's going to give.
Okay.
Out west. And then Gia came along, and now San Francisco's come along. That kid that called yesterday is from San Francisco as well. And something's going to happen. And I can feel it in my bones.
Maybe you'll be on the red carpet in a nice tux, a new hat.
Yeah, a new hat. Well, you got to mess around with that. But the funny thing about all this is that I always tell them, do you have your passport ready and you're ready to travel?
Yes.
Are you ready? And I tell them that, and they laugh at me until the day happens. It's okay, no packing, let's get on the plane, let's go. Because that's the way it's going to happen. And they laugh. They laughed at me when I started this business 19 years ago. They said nobody looks at sports on their phone or in radio stations, and they ain't laughing no more. Zoom, which was blown up during COVID, we've been doing it for years, and nobody ever thought that was going to be taken seriously. So it doesn't surprise me. Here we go. If they don't see you coming, it's when you're most effective. Mm-hmm. If they see you coming, then they put all these these blocks to stop you from doing what you should be doing. So it's welcoming news for a change. I'm very happy. I may have grown a quarter of an inch.
As I'm talking to you, though, or as you're talking, I'm sorry, I'm realizing that something else that you said that clicked in me, and I go, okay, remind him of this. So you're going to get a lot of ideas this year, and you need to follow through on them, okay? You need to follow through on them. So when you think you have some kind of crazy idea, follow through on that and see where that goes, because it's new, youthful, energy, creation. That's all your year this year. And also groups. I forgot about that. Large groups. Presenting things to large groups. So, yeah.
Interesting. What did I tell you today about doing the networking party with San Francisco? Us and her putting it together. Well, we'll see. I'm all in.
Awesome. All right, let's take a commercial break. More to come when we get back. Michelle's going to stay with us. I'm going to look at my life path, and we're going to come back and talk to LJ, see what's happening in the movie business.
Let's check it out.
Give us a call, 888-994-4995, Studio A. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Do you want the opportunity to have a TV show or podcast? Now, at Amp Media Productions, you can host your very own visual broadcast anywhere around the world. With our talented group of creators, we will provide you with show elements, board operations, and any on-screen visuals you'd like to showcase. All you must do is log onto your computer and communicate with your viewers. Contact Amp Media Productions at 866-224-5422 or email hello@amp2.tv to start your own show today.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
South Florida, are you ready? Backed by popular demand, the True Oldies channel presents the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert, Tavares. The Tramps featuring Earl Young. Evelyn Champagne King. The legendary Blue Notes. George McRae. The Cover Girls. The Sugar Hill Gang. Hosted by Denny Terrio. Saturday, March 23rd at Meisner Park Amphitheater in Boca Raton. It's the 1-800-ALARM-ME Saturday Night Dance Fever. Live in concert. Tickets on sale now at TrueOldiesFLA.com. Brought to you by 1-800-ALARM-ME, The Robes Law Group, North Star Memorial Gardens, and Lifegate Acupuncture.
Love the Brooklyn Cafe? Don't miss out on some of the latest merch we have available. Need a new shirt? The Brooklyn Cafe has you covered. We have a variety of shirts in all sizes, ranging from the classic cafe shirt to the highly coveted colorful hot dog shirt. Need something for cold weather? Why not grab one of our cafe hoodies? Or you can snuggle up with one of our soft silk touch fabric blankets. The Brooklyn Cafe has everything you need, from clothing about the show to our signature coffee blends and mugs. Get it while supplies last.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
It's always so much fun doing what we do. Even when you just have a small group of guests, the information is so powerful.
Well, you know, sometimes when you hear something, and I was talking to Nike and Pooh, Pokemon over here, and you know, I feel that there is a reason that certain things happen at a certain time. So we've been talking about this now for 2 weeks, about putting a program together, because they know everybody, including exorcists, in India.
Including what?
It's X.
As access.
Exorcist.
Not the Exorcist.
Not exorcist, exorcist.
Exorcist?
He knows the X. She may even say, hey, how you doing, you know?
The X and exorcist.
In India, and there's something that keeps telling me this, to put this thing together and getting it out there, because, you know, you got to start with the first step before you can walk the 100 miles.
Michelle says to me just now, I don't know why you guys aren't on national TV.
I don't know either. What the hell's going on with that?
But we got LJ joining us, and for all of our other shows that you want to see, check out Amp Media Productions on YouTube and social media. These are all the shows that we get to produce. Tonight we are here until 8 o'clock producing shows.
Tell them to come down. Check out JC Dreesen's here.
We've got JC Dreesen
Come
tonight.
on down. Check out a show.
We've got All County tonight, You and Your Doctor with Dr. Attar. We've got Making Money with Laura Sanders. We have Gypsy Soul, and we have, what else do we have? I think that's it. We've got 4 shows tonight.
We have
4 shows, only till 8 o'clock.
And we have the Gypsy Kings here on Monday if you want to come hang out. Actually, the band is going to be here.
See, I think in my past life I was a gypsy.
I think in your present life you're a gypsy.
I think when I found out that what gypsy really is when we were talking to Georgie, that it makes perfect sense.
Georgie says we're all gypsies.
That I was a gypsy in one of my soul lives, and I've come back because all the things that they love are all the things that I love, and it makes perfect sense.
I noticed that when you shook your head the first time I met you, sand came out of your ear and said, she's a gypsy.
You never know. But let's talk to LJ. I think we've got his movie trailer. LJ Ugarte.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Let's roll the trailer, see what we got.
It can be lonely here, but words and notes, at least it's a choice.
Paths. Wow. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
I got to ask you right away before I forget. What's on the forehead?
Oh, I'll explain all that in detail.
Okay.
So the film is called Hollow Paths. It's about the curiosity of the unknown.
Let's bring your mic a little closer.
It's about the curiosity of the unknown in a distant realm.
How
so
perfect is this?
In a distant what?
In a distant realm. So it's considered a fantasy in a reality. Is it a fantasy or reality?
Is it quantum physics or is it science?
Yes.
Is it peanut butter or is it jelly?
Is it heaven or is it hell? We're right in the middle. We don't know. So that's where my character comes in. My character
You wrote
pretty
this?
much. No, I actually just starred in it. This is actually the first production I did last year that I didn't produce. I was offered the role, and I was skeptical at first about taking such a challenging role because it was out of my comfort zone. But something in my heart told me to shut your mouth and read the script. And I read it, took my time, and I said, you know what? I've never played a phantom.
Is that
before.
you with the long hair in that
Yeah.
shot?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, that wig. Oh.
My gosh, look at this guy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't recognize you.
That's me.
Who wrote this? This is a full feature film?
It's a 30-minute short.
Okay.
It's by a newcomer named Louis Laloya. And I was a little skeptical about taking this part because, first of all, the director was 19 years old.
Wow.
I was like, I never worked with a director younger than me. But I gave it a chance, took the meeting with him, and I just fell in love with this character. It was just like, wow. It was dialogue-based. It was heavy, heavy, heavy dialogue. So I really had to, within myself, discover who is this guy? What is he about? He's lost in limbo. He was actually a musician. So I said, okay, he's a musician playing a beat-up ancient guitar, walking in limbo like a ghost. All he wanted to do was go to the beach. This character's like, I just want to go to the beach.
That's the guy with the hair.
Yeah, yeah. The Bard.
He was a, what's his name?
The Bard.
The Bard. Now you also do production.
Yes.
When we met you here,
Yes.
you were producing movies.
Oh, yes.
And shooting them and doing everything.
Everything.
This is a shift for you?
Yes, it was. Just to actually relinquish control and let someone else direct was kind of fulfilling for me.
Really?
Yes, it
you
was.
like releasing the control?
After doing it for such a long time, it was just great to take direction from someone else. You know, it was such
So you like acting?
Of course. Oh yeah, great
So would
deal.
you rather act or produce?
A little bit of both. Right now, I'm in the acting because it's a break for me. I don't have to carry equipment. I don't have to take meetings. I don't have to pay, do the
don't have to
payroll,
pay
the
anyone.
budgeting,
Nice.
and planning, insurance, and so it was great to just take a breather and just get into a character, report to set, act, do my thing, and go home at the end of the day.
A change of perspective.
How long did
Yes.
it take you to film it?
That sequence, it took me about 4 days to shoot, and I was done.
And the whole movie?
Boom. About maybe a month to shoot.
And where are they going to play it now? Where is it going
Right
to be?
now, the movie is being shopped around for all the international film festivals. So I'm hoping, since I have a relationship with Sundance, I'm hoping that it'll get submitted through my connections to Sundance.
And are you going to have a private showing, like for family and things?
Locally, yes, we are talking to the theater owners in Fort Lauderdale to shoot it, to premiere it there.
At Savor?
Yes, to be able to give South Florida audiences an opportunity to see the film, because since it was shot on location in Hollywood, Florida, so give them a chance to be able to preview it.
The only thing is that you can't show it to the public. It only could be family, correct?
It'll be shown invited guests.
Yeah, I think you
Invited.
can't sell tickets, but you can have a private screening for invited.
Sure can.
Oh, you can. Oh, you can't sell tickets.
Correct.
Yeah, I know there's a fix to this thing for Sundance.
Oh yeah,
and all these
absolutely,
things.
especially with the film festival market and.
Well, you have to be an independent going in. So once you sell a ticket, you are no longer independent. You're a pro.
Yes.
So they take away your rights of.
When we shot this film, it was right before the union strike. So luckily,
course it
when we
was.
filmed this, we were on strike for 188 days, which was insane. My goodness, we were out of work for. Well, I wasn't out of work, but
People were out of work.
my fellow actors were out of work. But this gave us a chance to be able to focus on the creative aspect of what we do.
Did it change your perspective? And did you have lessons learned on being the other side of the camera?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It just made me appreciate the producers. It made me appreciate the crew a little bit more. It made me appreciate the writers. That's one thing that, especially what Robert De Niro says, never disrespect the writer, because you don't know what the writer's perspective is. Never disrespect the production assistants. Never disrespect the wardrobe people, because every one of us behind the scenes are artists.
True.
And we are all entitled to that little sparkle.
There's so much that goes into anything on this level.
Absolutely.
Even doing our little show here, there's so many different moving parts that take place. And then there's the marketing aspect. We just spoke to a new producer, and there are different things that come about. And to get them accomplished takes hands, is what we call it.
It's work. And I often, my advice to the kids coming up, I can't stress this enough, is remember to take this serious. It's an art form. It should never be treated like it isn't. I've been doing this, I've been doing this 25 plus years.
Which is amazing to me, because you look about 25 years,
That's like
right?
good skincare.
No.
Yeah, 25
But how fascinating
years.
for you to sit here and talk about this hollowed path of realism, fantasy
Yep.
with Michelle.
Numbers.
Because, again, Freddie and
Yeah.
I knew Michelle was coming, we knew you were coming, but none of this was planned whatsoever,
Nice.
right? This was not even, until you said it, I'm thinking, wow, here we go again.
I just, during a commercial break, I shared a quick story about what my mother said before she passed away. 5 months before I received the awards, my honors that I've received, my mother kept on saying the number 28 or something. She was talking about 28 this, I see the number 28. I was like, maybe I should play lotto numbers, Mom. You know, maybe are you going to be with us 28 more years or something? You know, in my heart, I was hoping that she would stay with us longer. But what it was is she was predicting the wins. She saw it in her dreams.
Wow.
After my mom passed, 5 months later, I received, within that 6-month span, I received 28 awards.
Oh, you just gave me goosebumps. Wow.
Just amazed by that. I'm like, and then of course in my dreams, I have conversations with my mother and I'm like, Mom, you were right. Thank you.
28 awards. What type of awards did you win? That's amazing.
So many. The NEX award. I received the multiple film festival awards. The Emmy award. The just so many.
Wow.
You know, and you know what? I never take it for granted. And I often think, because when I go to my office at the end of the day and I'm doing my work and I'm looking at all these honors, I'm like, I hope these people don't come back to claim them. The joke is, I hope they don't knock on the door and says, I'm sorry, Eljo, we made a mistake. Can we have it back? I'm like, well, can I at least hold it a little longer, please?
That's amazing.
It's a joke
Eljo.
around my
and
household.
You always give back to the youth because that's how we met you. One of our former producers brought you in, and I guess he was working on a piece with you or vice versa.
Yes, with Alexander. I met him on a set of one of his films, and I remember seeing just how they were putting their art together. I was like, maybe I can help these guys because I was once them. And I offered my services to them. I said, you know what? I have a couple of equipment. I have lighting. I have gears. I have grips. I have this and that. You guys are more than welcome to come to our warehouse and pick out anything you guys need if it makes the production go smoother. They took advantage of it and kind of sat in the background watching them work. And I was intrigued by it. I'm like, I was that guy. I was them. I'm still that guy. I'm not going to begrudge a fellow filmmaker an opportunity to shine. Because it's expensive to make a movie. You can make an amazing masterpiece, and it don't have to cost you anything. Of course, some of the Fire Creek productions are a little pricey. I just wish that someone would have done that for us when we were starting out. So I guess that's why I have that in my heart to share. That's why I do it.
You did this movie as an actor?
As an actor.
And as a producer,
too?
So this belongs to somebody else.
Yes, this one is. I got to give out my boy Louis Laloya a shout out because when he offered me the role, he said to me, "I think you're the only one that can play the bard." And I said, "Really? There's so many actors that could play this part." And he said, "No, I want you to play this part." So I took the meeting, loved the script, loved the I of course, when I'm attached to a film, I have to have. That's part of my deal, part of the agreements that we did. That I do have to do some consulting work on it. So I am a consultant on the production. I told them, we have to shoot this in 4K. We have to be. They approved it and did the film and was happy with the outcome.
That's incredible.
Yes, it'll be released to the public once it goes through the circulation of the film festivals. Because I know that I asked, and of course the teaser trailer is the one that they did grant. So.
And you're from New York.
Yes, Brooklyn, New York, originally.
So I remember you had this conversation with him on some of where you actually started.
Yes, I started at New York City. I went to Ballet Hispanico Dance Company, which is on 86th Street in Manhattan, 86th Street West. And a lot of dancers, I think J-Lo went to that school. I think Zoe Zoldana, if I'm not mistaken, studied there. I went there, and that's how I got my start doing off-Broadway theater, which is amazing, which hopefully I get back to it soon.
So I gotta ask, what are you currently working where you're the producer, or are you going to stick with the?
Yes, acting? No. I'm doing a little bit of both right now. Okay. I'm also gearing up to shoot Great People 2. I don't know if you guys are aware of Great People 1, which it became a massive hit. I just spoke to these guys. That movie was released in India in theaters, in American film in cinemas, and it won awards there. I was just offered a role to reprise the part of Veggie Thug again in part 2. I accepted the role. I'm also producing docuseries right now under our belt. I just came back from LA not too long ago. I did a documentary / music / drama written and produced by Khalil Siam, who is a recording artist there. He's worked with many artists like LL Cool J, Chili Chill. He's worked on records for me. And it was shot on location in Los Angeles, which was so incredibly cool because I'm walking the streets of Hollywood Boulevard with cameras following us. And it's surreal because, you know, you have the Hollywood sign, the Capitol Records behind us, and it was reality. It was talking about the ins and the outs of the entertainment business. And Khalil, this is his first attempt in filmmaking. He's a recording artist, writer, producer, and he does music videos. And now he's tackling the world of making motion pictures, which is incredible. It's incredible. And he calls me and he's like, am I doing it right? Do I do this? I'm like, your editing skills are amazing. I mean, what? It is in 4K? Yeah, you're doing a great job.
Well,
Hopefully.
I got to ask you a question.
Sure.
Okay, so I want you to educate me.
Uh-huh.
So let's say that there's a project and everybody agrees, let's do this, one way or the other. Not the logistics and the actors and all that. Let's put that to the side for a second. So you shoot a short, 27, 30 minutes, more or less, right? And then it goes through the factor of where it's going to end up and everything else. Now, is it that you're looking for somebody to help you turn it into a motion picture or to sell it? What is the science and the business aspect when you do a 30-minute
Through the film festival circuit, well, it's a little bit of both. Sometimes the film festivals could be used as a test audience to test it out with an actual audience to get it reviewed by professionals. Some filmmakers use that route to get worldwide distributions. Some use it to get international exposure, national exposure. I like to use the film festival circuit to get the films reviewed and marketed for a wider audience that's outside of our local community. And that's kind of the gist of the film festivals. It has its pros and it has its cons. And the pros are that you get a lot of exposures and you'll get it reviewed by other producers who might see that as a potential to make it into a television series. They might even pick that up to use that as a television pilot for their newest shows that they're producing in Hollywood. Or not necessarily in Hollywood. It could be here. It could be New York or wherever. But that's kind of the gist of it.
Have you ever seen the show? I think it's called Finding Home. It's on Hallmark Channel. And it's this quantum world where there's this magical lake. And certain members of the family can time travel through this lake, and they try to change time on the other side. But of course, the real world doesn't know that they do this, but these family members do, and it crosses soul paths.
Right.
The girl ends up somebody's mother, ends up the daughter, and it's all about this quantum physics world, but it's shot in color. So my question to you is, why is this in black and white?
It's supposed to identify as like a dream.
Okay.
Sort of kind of like a dream sequence or
So this is going to be part of the whole 30 minutes is black and white as the dream sequence. The full-length film would be in black and white?
Yes.
So it was done on purpose?
Yes, it is.
Interesting. I got to tell you, sometimes the kids will get a hold of certain pieces of your video. And Baxton was doing a video for CeCe's new music. And it went from color and all this stuff. It went to black and white. And he made it a dream sequence, exactly what you're talking about. And it doesn't make sense to me until now, because he opened
Sally's
up.
piece, you did that.
Sally's piece, we started black and white and we came forward. So then, but he must have opened the email, because somebody opened my email, and all of a sudden now he's influenced on doing this, and we're waiting the film to come in from CC, and he's gonna make that color. And he has this touch and go that he wants to do the same thing you just described, which I find fascinating.
It's something beautiful about black and white. I love old pictures like the Betty Davises and the Joan Crawfordses and the, I was just watching this movie that I grew up watching with Elizabeth Taylor, A Place in the Sun. It's something about those old movies that has a romance to it, or a film noir. And that seems to be the newest thing. And I'm kind of experimenting with that in producing. I've done a black and white film. It was a silent movie that I'd done before, and it was kind of like a movie about drunk driving, about suicide. But the way it was told, it wasn't told through dialogue. It was told through emotions. It was told through body language and hair, the scene of anger, and without saying a word. The eyes are windows to your soul. So it's a great piece. I have to send you guys that piece. And
Michelle, what is his life path?
He's an 8, and I said to him.
You have a mic?
I said.
Michelle, you have a mic?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that would help, right?
So I'd love to find out what
My
his
voice
calling
carries
is.
far enough. One of the things that I was just taken by with LJ is his energy and his positive. He's got a really nice aura, and it's very positive and uplifting, and you can see it just kind of radiates out of you.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you.
And his life path, interestingly, is an 8. And I would have thought it was a 3 or a 5, but I'm sure when I look at your full name, that 3 and 5 is going to come out. But 8 is likes to be organized, likes to run big projects.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And but more in the 8, again, when that shows up, it's about the bigger projects. It's about money. You certainly do like money. There's no doubt about it.
Of course.
And with your G, some of the other letters, that kind of enforces that. But you have this, and you're good at managing people as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very
I do.
good at
I
managing
do.
people and organizing things.
Oh, yeah.
But for you, an 8 life path has to do it in a big way. So, definitely keep chugging along in that direction.
Oh, yeah.
And you have an emphasis in your 3 box. When I do these names and I break them down, I look at where this is like if I do it at a party real quick, people say, do my numbers. Okay. So I put it in like this box so I can see where all of the emphasis on his letters are. And you've got a lot of emphasis in your 3 box and your 1. And so that is lots of ideas, very creative, and good with writing, good with words. You have double U's, and that always tells me that somebody is, very creative with words and writing.
Oh, yeah.
So, but if I have to do your whole name to see.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
And you're
interesting, right? There you go.
He's so humble too.
Very.
I feel like you're right. He's got this great, amazing aura, and
Thank you.
guardians around you like unbelievable.
Thank you. And I hope to use that to continue to inspire. Because I know at the end of the day, I'm not the world's greatest singer and I'm not the world's greatest actor, but as long as the audience can understand what I'm trying to contribute,
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And we're in such a world like social media. We're being judged all the time, and
Yeah.
everybody wants to
Yeah.
live in this fantasy, but we know that it's not always the thing. What you see is what you get. And I guess my purpose is to contribute a little bit. That's what I'm hoping to do with my
Definitely.
films and the music and the actors that I've put on. Some of the actors that I've worked with are on television, Chicago Fire, and they're starring in these NBC dramas, and I'm like, those are like my kids.
Wow.
I remember those. Yeah,
That's amazing.
and it's such a proud co-stars of mine that I've done, and I'm like, those are like my kids.
That is really, really beautiful.
Oh yeah.
LJ,
yeah.
I want to make a movie.
Sure, let's put you in. I could cast you as
No,
the
I don't want to
villain.
be in the movie.
And then you can be on the red
And
carpet.
again with the shot, wrong shot. I don't want to be in the movie. I want to make a movie. I want to sit with you. I want to sit down with you, and I want to know what it takes to make a movie. I even got a movie theater to play in it.
Oh boy,
I got
that
2 movie
process.
theaters. to
That
play.
process, my goodness, it starts out with a good script.
Well, let me tell you some
I've
of the
gotten
problems.
so many scripts.
Why don't we go to
Whew.
commercial break, and then you can come back and tell him some of your
That I
ideas.
had
Some of my
Listen,
problems?
everybody.
You can
Oh
tell me
my
your
goodness,
problems
and
too.
we get piles of them. and-
We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more with Freddie's big movie ideas on production. We shall see what happens. Stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Breaking news, aliens have finally made contact with.
Welcome to the Amp Media Studios here in beautiful downtown Boca Raton.
In conjunction with True Oldies Radio South Florida, Amp Media Productions is here to help amplify your impact in business and to bring greater awareness to our community. Give us a call, 866-224-5422. We'll see you soon at the cafe.
And like I always say, come on down and visit us and don't be late.
No.
When it comes to protecting what matters most, your family, your business, your peace of mind, you need reliable fire protection. Introducing All Fire Extinguisher Depot, Fire Extinguisher Service. Our certified technicians ensure your extinguishers are always ready to respond to emergencies. Before and after, we leave your fire safety in top-notch condition. Join the many satisfied clients who trust All Fire Extinguisher Depot for fire extinguisher service. Because when it comes to fire safety, there's no compromise. Contact All Fire Extinguisher Depot at 786-704-2750 to get your extinguisher service today. Your safety is our priority. That's at 786-704-2750. All Fire Extinguisher Depot, protecting what matters.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. I am so glad today we got an early start. Where are we headed anyway?
Who knows? Wherever this glorious day takes us, and we'll take Don Pablo along too. Rich and flavorful with low acidity and notes of caramel. No matter where you're going or where you end up, Don Pablo never disappoints.
Excuse me, is that Don Pablo coffee?
Sure is.
Do you have any more?
Sure do. Baby, hop in.
No matter where life takes you, Don Pablo Coffee is always there to pick you up.
Hey Kaylee, what's up?
Hey, nothing, what's up?
Nothing, just looking for music for Grandpa I listen to while we're in the car.
What's wrong with listen to now?
Let's just say we have different tastes, you know?
Why don't you try listen to a podcast on Spotify?
Like which one?
The Brooklyn Cafe Studio one is really good.
Okay, I'll try that one out, thanks.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought.
This is Smoke Barbecue. We're located in Fort Lauderdale at 3351 Northeast 32nd Street, Fort Lauderdale 33308. Our website is www.eatsmokebbq.com. It's EATSMOKEBBQ.com. You can order online. We also do catering for 10 to 10,000.
If you are looking to bring your family out to an incredible food venue, this is the place. We're at Smoke Barbecue in East Fort Lauderdale. Everything is amazing. You can see their faces on our crew, and the amount of food that they have taken down in about 15 minutes is absolutely unbelievable.
And we're still going. I can't talk amazing.
And everything is coming, so here, let's eat.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
Is that your new handkerchief?
You like that?
It's nice. It's classy.
It's a tissue.
I know it is. I think you were telling me it was like the Bronx handkerchief.
Email you.
Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Comment on the post that you see to win and be eligible to win this beautiful basket right here. It's a little bit of cafe merch, coffee, tea, our own line of cookie dough, and two
cups.
2 mugs that say the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Now, do you know how these work? Yeah, we have to put in hot water. Oh, how'd you know all that? You're very gifted.
Don't you love her accent?
I don't understand a word she says, but yes.
She says yes. You have to put in hot water.
You put hot.
You make them laugh.
You put hot water, and you know what melts and what reveals? No. So how you know it works?
Because I use those pickles in India too.
They have them in India.
So you put this in and it reveals either you won $1 million or you haven't.
Although I have to tell you, there's been a producer in the studio that's been taking these white roses, and I find them all over the studio in random places. So I thought it was Josh.
No, it's her.
But now I'm thinking it's Pooja because I'm finding them in orchids, I'm finding them in different flower arrangements all
Where are
over
they
the
getting
place.
them, from there?
And they're getting them from there. So
where'd you get that one?
From the orchid. So I thought it was Pooja, but I thought it was Josh, but I think it's Pooja.
It was in there, it wasn't in the orchid.
That's an orchid.
It's real?
No, but it's a fake orchid.
So they're taking the flowers off of it?
No, they're finding flowers and they're putting them all around the studio. But it's not you?
There is something very,
More to come.
Who's doing it? Is it you?
Yes, it is.
very sensual.
I don't know, but there it is. We have to find out who it is. The Orchid Man. It's like the Orchid Man. The Orchid Man.
The organ man?
Remember the orchid? The orchid?
Yes,
the
I dated a
exterminator?
woman who was an orchid woman.
Really?
Yes.
Then
That commercial, every time it came on, I went to drink.
I wonder if they still have orchid.
Of course.
Anyway, we digress. They're having a whole conversation over there,
They're very
LJ and
busy.
Michelle. LJ, I have to ask you, do you have a foundation?
No, but I have something in the works called the LJ Ugarte Foundation, which is for to protect the youth against bullying, to make
That's
them
what I
aware
thought.
of things in regards to self-love and self-respect.
Have you
and
started it yet?
It's already incorporated, yes, the LJ Ugarte Foundation, and something I know it's going to be magical.
I know it is.
It's going to be very magical, and I just want to contribute and help do my little bit while I'm on this earth. And share.
LJ, not every movie has to have a meaning, does it?
No, not necessarily. As long as it's entertaining. Sure, I was watching the Toxic Avengers from 1984 yesterday. Did that movie make sense? No, it didn't. I was watching it yesterday, but it was entertaining, and that's why we do what we do is to entertain our audiences.
That's what I want to do. I want to do an entertainment movie.
What was the first big production that you did?
My goodness, 1994. I was in a film called The Gallery that shot on location in Coney Island, and I was just at the right place at the right time. I was trying to build my sandcastle on the surf on Coney Island, and I didn't realize that I wandered onto a film set. I didn't know. I just wanted to build my sandcastle. It was like, hey, And next thing you know, this man tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, hey, young man, I'm sorry. You're kind of in the shot. And I'm like, I'm in the shot of what? I'm like, I'm a little boy, and looked around. I was like, wow. And I saw the lights. And
wow.
Cool. And then the guy was like, let's keep this little boy playing on the sand. We'll just shoot around him. And then, of course, they asked my dad's permission. Oh, you're going to need to sign this, and you want your son. And here goes my dad. My dad used to look like Clark Gable. Goes, well, I am Luis's manager. I was looking at him, I was like, Dad, I'm gonna build my sandcastle. Always remember that. And he says, yeah, he could be in the movie. And then my dad tells the guy, because they was right over the fishing pier in Coney Island. He goes, see, I told you my son was a movie star. and it never went away. So that movie was called The Gallery, 1994. And that was it.
And you never look back.
And I never looked back, but actually I got the bug in 1989 when my eldest sister Martha took me to Radio City Music Hall that December of 1989 to see the production of The Wizard of Oz. It's amazing that I can still remember the sound, the smell, that beautiful theater. Radio City Music Hall is legendary. I'm sitting on the third balcony, and the tickets were probably like $40 then. I'm watching this house flying over the audience and landing on the witch. I think the sound of applause is what mesmerized me. I was like, these people like those people. Instead, they're clapping. And I think that to this day, that beautiful sound of applause, it still haunts me. So I have to thank my sister Martha for that. I think I thank her for introducing me to that world. And then when I got my first job, and that's why every time I do an acting job, I always honor my sister, and I always honor my mother. They're no longer with us, but their spirit lives on through me. And the more work I do, the more I'm honoring them. And the more work that I am honoring them, I am blessing another actor. And they're going to continue to, hopefully they're going to continue to bless and the cycle, because it's an art form, and that's what we do.
But you give back. There's some
Yes.
artists that do it for whatever reason, for themselves, for fame and glory. And then there's others like you, and I say Taylor Swift because she's given back tremendous amounts of money to everybody that works within her organization. And you're doing the same thing with opportunity for our
Absolutely.
youth, which is amazing.
And I do a lot of events and charities and stuff, and I sing for them. I sing for you and you cheer for me. That's a deal, right? I don't always want to be glorified or LJ Ugarte is here. No. I'm just here to support you guys. You don't have to put me on no pedestal. I'm okay exactly where I'm at. I would rather have my 2 feet planted right on the ground, because once you get a little bit too much, you're floating away. My mom used to always say, once you start, your ego starts taking you to higher, you're going to lose yourself, and it's going to be a very hard road coming down. Boom, 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 boom. So stay plant right on the floor, and the rest will follow.
You know, it's amazing. There's some shows we have that bring the angels and the guardians, like these two. These two together have elevated this entire studio today.
You elevated?
That's sweet.
You know what I call it?
Feeling, you can see it. It's like mesmerizing, magical.
You know what I call it? I tell everyone, I just sprinkle a little bit of the Fire Creek dust.
I love that.
That's I always say, let me sprinkle you with some of the Fire Creek dust.
How'd
As
you come up
corny
with
as
the
that
name?
sounds, that's just how, I'm a corny guy. Whatever. I don't care. I love
we
it.
don't get Michelle here often, so when we do, it's a gift. So for her to be here with you, it's true. How often I look back on my text and I realize it was December and then it was October that we've been trying to bring you in.
Well, I'm going to be here for a while, so up
More to
until
come.
April, so I can come back if you want.
We
I mean,
always
I'm
want
inviting
you back.
Huh?
We always want you back because I find it fascinating that a name can be your life's path. The name that you're born with, not the name you marry or you change, but truly the name that you're born with.
You know, I wanted to say something you mentioned about ego, LJ, and you know, the thing about ego, because that's what happens, we get carried away.
Yeah, we do. Lose ourselves.
Because ego is about comparison. You know, one of the things I always talk about is ego doesn't know things as being equal, or it's either I'm better than you or I'm worse than you.
Yeah, and the color green, I hate that color because it
green
reminds
is
me
the
of
color.
envy.
Oh, okay. Green
And
eyes, jealousy.
It's it's a very competitive world.
It is.
It's a very competitive business. I've seen what it done to people. I was just in Los Angeles, and I've seen the anger, the hate, the bullying, we gotta get this job. We gotta get this job. I've seen it with the new actors today, and they constantly posting. I'm booked. I just booked this job. I'm booking this. It's an obsession. They forget why they're doing it. Leave it alone. Relinquish that. Focus on the creative aspect of what you do, and the people will get it. But if you're constantly throwing it in everybody's face, I gotta get this job. I gotta book it. I gotta book it. I gotta book it. You're gonna lose yourself, and you're gonna drive yourself crazy. You're gonna drive the people around you crazy, and everybody's gonna lose interest.
There's no good ending to that.
No, keep people
Somehow.
wandering. I only come out, I leave my office, which is rare. I don't do events, but I come out when I'm ready to promote a project when it's done. I don't plug it prematurely because I've already had flops. I've had way too many flops in my career, but that's every flop is a lesson. So not to do what we've done before.
You need someone like her in your life because it's the date that you deliver.
Exactly, and I'm a firm believer of that.
She'll
Everything
tell
is
you
for
the
a reason.
right date and the right not date.
Is April a good time?
April, okay.
Start shooting my next film.
This April? Okay, so you're in, let's see, you're in a 6th year this year. Okay, so that's a lovely year.
Oh,
really,
right.
it's a
Okay,
good year.
okay.
But it has to do with your house, too. I don't know what else is going on with your house.
A brand new house.
Oh,
Just
you
2
did?
years, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, no,
I
I'm
purchased
thinking.
my first home 2 years. Now it's about 3 years.
Well, I'm talking about like this
Oh.
year in particular.
Oh, tell me.
Okay, so there's going to be stuff going on about your house, but also you're going to be, in a sense, counseling people, so advising people. There's going to be a lot more of that for you this year. But let me look at what age you are.
I'm always the guy they call when they need advice, and I'm so honest and like, look, look at here. It's not going to work out for you today. I'm just really honest when it comes to when people ask me for
You're
an
going to have a
opinion.
lot of work, though, this year.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you're going to have so put
boy.
your roller skates on, you know, you're going to be
boy.
busy.
Well,
Very
that's a
busy.
blessing. More blessings to bless others. That's all right.
But that's what it's about, right?
yeah.
We're all here to give something to somebody. And
Totally.
like I said before, whether it's just a, if you love to make ice cream, then be the best damn ice cream maker,
The best
whatever
what
it
you
is.
can do. I mean, I take my time doing things.
Where you're exacting.
Just want to make sure that everything is perfected and ready to be presented. Because you don't want to do anything half, because it's no way.
You know, I love that you said everyone on set's important, from the makeup artist to the costume designers to the writer to the script, the sound, the lighting, because everyone is important. It's what we try to tell our crew all the time, that it's not just one. It takes an incredible team
an
to put
army.
all of this together.
It takes an army. Rome wasn't built in a day. So
It does.
It takes a whole...
And it takes consistency.
Manhattan wasn't built in a day. The Brooklyn Bridge didn't take that, it took forever. But yeah, definitely. Everyone that's on any type of production, they're considered artists.
It's beautiful.
So everyone has the same importance.
Michelle,
than
what's
the
next
star.
what's next for you, Michelle?
What's up for me?
What's next?
Oh, well, I was just talking with LJ because I've had a movie that I've wanted to get out there for, it must be 14 years now, easily. And I have lots of lines written and storylines. I have the whole story pretty much fleshed out. I think everybody has a story in them, to be perfectly honest with you. But this story is inspirational, and also to give people hope, and also to encourage people to think outside the box and to imagine that maybe you do have a lot of help around you, whether that's angelic help or guides. So it's kind of a rom-com, Well, I'm not going to go into it now. This isn't the
I told her, make
place.
sure you register it and get it all nicely copywritten.
Yeah.
Before you start broadcasting it to everyone.
Yeah,
But it
which
was
I have
beautiful.
done.
I just heard the synopsis of it.
Thank you.
It's beautiful. That's definitely something
Thank
that
you.
It's funny,
I'd
and everyone
read.
who comes in here that's faith-based, Josh says, how do they all land right here?
How do they?
Right?
You're a magnet for it.
But it's the goodness. It's the faith-based, and hope is what we're all looking. I feel like I say this every day, all day long, but it's what we need right now.
It is, because the
you
mess.
guys. Oh, I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
no,
off.
you go.
I said definitely you guys check out Caliber Island that I was in, that just came out
Yes.
a month ago, on every single streaming, Apple TV and all that. It's a faith-based, and I play a reporter in that one as an actor. And
then what's the name of it again?
Caliber Island.
Caliber
It's a
Island,
beautiful,
okay.
Beautiful story.
Caliber Island, let's watch it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, Michelle, you need a podcast.
I was recently on Christine Carlson. You know Christine Carlson? Yeah, I was on her podcast a couple of times. And, okay. I don't know.
I know it's the time, but I know every time you're here and we talk to you, everyone is fascinated. And they want
Really?
more and more and more, because people, I think, are starting to understand astrology, and they understand psychic.
Right.
But numerology and souls and our soul contracts and the soul people that we come back with, that there's thousands and thousands, and it's like the aliens. It's this quantum physics that there's a tiny part that people want to know, but they're afraid to ask because then they're going to think it's woo-woo. But there's science behind this.
There is so much science behind it. And obviously, I'm not qualified to present the science end of it or the quantum piece of it. But for me, as I, not to be repetitive, but just talking to Dr. Edgar Mitchell, who created IONS, Institute of Noetic Science in California, which is all about investigation into phenomena under rigorous testing. It's not just some schlock, company. I mean, they've been doing it for years, and the results are absolutely fascinating. But I think the whole message here over and over again is we're in this together.
Right.
And we need to help one another. And the only competition, look in the mirror, that's your competition.
There you go.
Yourself,
That's
right?
But that's what people need. Don't you think it would be an amazing podcast, something to listen to see whatever, however we put this together, or she puts this together?
It would be, because everybody's, they say numbers are exact in every science.
Yeah, you say numbers don't lie, right?
And numbers don't lie. And the bottom line here is that good, better, and different, if somebody tells you you're going to be busy, they light up. All of a sudden, good things begin to happen. And it's funny because sometimes you don't recognize just the good things around you because you're so caught up in trying to find them. And it's just happening around you. I think Chanel learned that today. She broke her foot, so she's going to be out of commission for 12 weeks. But that isn't the real deal. That's so she could sit down and put into motion things that she's been given signs now for almost a year. And she didn't do it.
Wow.
And life is going to throw, it's going to say, it's like that little kid that pulls on you and says, yo, feed me.
Right.
And life says to feed me. So
I think what's great about numerology, and for myself, is if I know that I'm going to be going through a challenging time, I know it's going to come to an end. At some point, the thing is, you don't want to fight against things at times. Sometimes we fight against it, and it only makes it worse. And so you just kind of got to flow with the changes, not get caught up in what everybody else's opinion or what's going on in the world. That's really challenging. But if you can remain centered and just be, it's going to sound corny, but I don't think it's corny at all, especially this day and age, and just be love, then everything kind of flows.
If you can't take care of it today, it'll get taken care of tomorrow.
Right.
If you can't get taken care of this week, eventually it will get fixed.
It's interesting you say that. When I was on the set, when they were shooting one of the movies I think that we talked about before, the director said to me, the hardest part about a movie is, here you have a movie and you know what you're going to do. And then how the director wakes up that day is going to take the angle of how to get there. So you may have had a plan on Monday, and he gets up on Wednesday with a whole different idea, or it doesn't work what he wanted to capture, and everything changes, he or she. Everything changes, and there's a constant flow on change on these things. So you can't get too much caught up in what you're currently doing, because they're going to change it, or they're going to make you do it again.
Exactly.
And you're going to make you do it a different light. I never realized that lighting can be done in so many different aspects on a movie.
Of course. Oh yeah, multi angles
And sometimes you want to bring out the best of what somebody's going to say in a movie, and they do it through an angle. And they may go 40 times on a shot to get the right angle. Now, that right angle could be 1, 2, 3 people that are going to decide it, but you have to go. So it's just like life. Life is going to give you a challenge, and you can sit down and say, okay, I'm being challenged. Or you can stand up and say, okay, I'm going to take this challenge, and I'm going to work with it, and I'm going to flow with it, word that you use. I love the word flow. And you're going to try to create something from the challenge until it's over.
Yep.
We get in our own way is the
Always.
problem.
Yeah.
We do.
So something that could have really turned out wonderful, we sometimes get in our own way with worry, and it's not happening fast enough.
Right. We want it now. It's like, no. Slow it down.
Slow it down. And whatever those other negative feelings that arise, especially worry, because I'm also a coach. I love it when, that's not true. I don't love it, but it's interesting when people say to me, I'm so worried about this, and this, and we'll talk about it, process it, and I'll say, okay, well, let me ask you a question. How many hours of worry do you think you need to put into this problem to make it go away. And of course, then they go, huh, 0? Yeah, that's the answer, 0. So worrying serves no purpose. And that's not to say that people don't at times get worried. Of course, we're human beings. We have all these. But say I'm going to give this 15 minutes of worry or 20 minutes of worry, and then I'm moving on. So, you know, again, I just keep coming back to when we get it, that we're all here to help each other and work together, it's going to be a different world. But Pluto in Aquarius is going to help do that. It's going to break down the old structures, the old guard, the powers that be. It's not going to be about helping the 1% anymore. It's going to be about helping the 99%.
It's funny because that word worry is going to make you focus on change, finding another way. So instead of worrying about something which does absolutely nothing, because you can worry for 3 days and it's going to still be there. Right. You have to focus on, you have a challenge and you got to find a different way to approach it, or you got to change. You know, we are humans of habit. And sometimes being uncomfortable, remember that, is the right way to be, because when you're comfortable, you settle. And when you start to settle, nothing gets done. You want to be uncomfortable and take a challenge, welcome a challenge, say, okay, here's a challenge. This is what we're going to have to try to do. You may fail. Try a second challenge. Try a third challenge. But don't give in to worry, because the moment that's done, you're raising the white flag and saying, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to try to change anything. And that's the biggest mistake. You know, life is very interesting.
Yes, it is.
It will always teach you a way out if you take the challenge. If you give up and you start saying, I can't do this, then life is proving to you, you got to change that. That's the lesson. Maybe that's the contract that I've learned.
Yeah.
Maybe.
For you.
It's taken me 61 years to learn it.
I think you learned it before.
But, you know, sometimes you have to undo what you did in order to get to where you want to go.
True.
Absolutely. It's like,
so that's the
wise words.
Yes, it is.
Freddie.
That's the problem right now, that I want to get to where I want to go.
Blocks.
But you know, I've been gifted because I've been surrounded by gifted people like you guys, like Dawn, like the crew. And I'm able to drink from that wine of knowledge, as Shakespeare once said. And I'm able to learn that within a drop, you can fill a bucket. And we talked about this 8 years ago.
True that.
And it doesn't change. You got to stay within yourself. You got to believe in yourself, man, because if you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody going to help you with that.
Right.
Nobody.
Self-love is really important, not in the egotistical way. It's just honoring yourself and believing in yourself and loving yourself. I mean, if you can't do that for yourself, how would you expect anybody else to do that? We just get a bad rap about it, you know, about loving yourself. Like that is egotistical, and it's not.
Well, I got a challenging question for you.
Okay.
We're talking about staying positive, staying the light, staying focused. And you meet a client, and the client decides not to trust you, the director, or the coach, or the producer, or the director, because you've been doing this long enough to know that if you do it this way, we have a chance. But if you do it this other way, it's not going to work, because you've been on that path not once, not twice, but maybe 20 times. So how do you handle a person like that after you've told them time and time again, you either trust me or you don't?
Okay, I can answer that.
Okay, you go first.
That's before we even get to that situation, and that's something that we have to establish early on, because if that happens in the middle of the third week, then it becomes a serious problem, and we're going to have to be forced to shut down production. That's oh boy, that just gave me hives, because that's costly
and doesn't
time
help
consuming.
Yeah.
You have to compromise early on in the very beginning, and we have to have an understanding before moving forward, because if it starts off right in the beginning, then we have to nick it in the butt. Right. So we have to agree to disagree, and either you trust us or you don't trust us. If you don't trust us, and if you don't agree, then you're going to have to find another path, because we're only doing it for your best interest, not because we want to sabotage or compromise your vision. That's one thing we don't do is we don't compromise visions. We just want to enhance your vision. That's the whole point of that. So, oh boy.
Yeah,
I've been there.
He's gonna get rid of that stuff.
Yeah, you got to crush it like a cockroach. Get out the room. Get out of here.
I just think that everything in life is a lesson, and sometimes the lessons appear as challenges. And Louis Schwarzenberg, I think he was a Holocaust victim, and he says something really beautiful about gratitude, because also always be in gratitude. And people say, how can I be in gratitude? And what he says, okay, so your friend is sick, but they get better, and you're grateful that they're better. Okay, but what happens? Your friend is sick and they die. What are you grateful? Well, you're grateful that you knew them and that you had a life with them or experiences with them. So it's always flipping the switch all the time in every situation with clients. And clients are a great mirror for me. That's why I love what I do, because I'm always learning things all the time.
Absolutely, student of life.
Right?
That's what I call it.
It's just beautiful. And I think that, with that exchange that I have with clients, it's really lovely. And I was going to bring a point home, but honestly, it just went right out of my head. It'd be nice if it took that
How do
headache
people
with it.
find you for their own chart reading or for your coaching?
They can text me at 954-444-6955 or just go to michellelanders.com. And I do offer free 15 to 20 minute free sessions,
They're all going to be coming out from the studio as soon as we're done.
Okay. Okay.
You gotta get bombarded with a bunch of.
Well, you could you can go online and.
Do you ever? Can I ask you this? Do you ever get anyone asking you for lotto numbers?
Oh yeah, all the time. And all I can say is, if I could do that, I hate to say it, but I would be the first one.
Absolutely.
The fellow that I learned from. That is a good question.
Yeah,
and people do ask me that. The fellow that I learned from, who has since passed, Kevin Quinn Avery, and he was a master, and he was working on a system. He died, but he was combining numerology and astrology.
Wow.
To find, what that key was. But, I think, listen, you're just as lucky to dream of numbers. There was a couple of people who won the lottery because they dreamt of a set of numbers and they kept playing it and playing it and playing it until they finally won.
Good for them,
And LJ, how do we find the movie or look for more things?
You can find it all on, you can go on Facebook under LJ Ugarte. You can find it on my Instagram. You can find it on the Fire Creek Entertainment. Just put in Fire Creek Entertainment on Instagram. You can find, I'm on TikTok now. I'm having a little fun with that.
Yay.
And you can find everything's all connected on X, Twitter X, whatever it's called now.
X, yeah.
Under LJ Ugarte. And I look forward to you guys hitting me up. I've gotten a lot of questions.
You're going to have a call out for your next movie?
Yeah, Great People 2 is going into production sometime this year. So I'll be playing the thug again. That's such a fun character. Little veggie thug.
And we'll see you on the red carpet soon.
If you have a red carpet in your house, maybe.
Maybe one of my films, like when we premiered the documentary in Los Angeles.
I want to, before I call it a day, I would like to be in a movie. I really would. I think it'd be so cool.
You said that the last time.
I know,
and I believe
I got
you.
no closer.
I believe you. You said that this is not the first time I heard. I think I heard it twice.
It's funny because the more I want it, the further away it gets. But one of the problems that I had on that movie set that I was on is that they gave me lines to read.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I have to act.
Improv.
That's it. They gave me the lines of what I'm supposed to be doing. And they sort of liked that. That's the reason I even got to play with those guys a little bit.
That's why you give us such good content here every day.
And we're back to that.
Freddie, this is definitely a year for you to write, by the way.
Write what?
Whatever's in your heart.
What do I got to write?
Whatever you're feeling.
Bring it forth.
It's like a
I'm
journal.
going to tell you something. Me and writing, my hand cramps. It
Dictate
looks
it.
like this because it doesn't work well.
Dictate it.
To who?
Your phone.
That's how I'm writing my book. I'm working on a book.
And who's writing it for you?
I dictate that.
Yeah.
And who writes it?
Your phone.
Eventually, I have to end up typing it myself. I don't have a ghostwriter. I actually write my books, but I'm just.
Wow.
You know,
that's a good idea, like to write it.
Yeah, just dictate it.
They have a program now. You talk into the machine.
And it types it, yes, and that's what it does.
I may have to
and
do that.
I email
What
it to
am I gonna
myself.
write a book about?
I don't know. Whatever is in your heart.
And what about me? I'm boring.
Anything but.
You know, some of the things they don't believe
That's the name of
me.
your book. Anything but boring.
And they don't believe some of the stories that I tell them. So I stopped telling them the stories because I wanted it for the book. But I think I should keep telling them because I don't think I'm ever going to write this book.
One day.
There was a Woody Allen movie down by the Dakotas. I don't remember the year. By the Dakotas, because we had a building over there. And Woody Allen was doing this movie, and I was helping my father in construction, and I walked across. He told me to walk across, and they wouldn't put me in the movie because I didn't have clean overalls on. So the guy says to him, Woody says to my dad, who doesn't speak a word of English, tell your son to change, and I'll reshoot it and put him in the movie. I said, no, you got to go to work. And that was my whole career.
One day you're going to have clean overalls. You're going to be walking across. You're going to go remember when.
Thank you. And I'm going to be looking up and saying, Dawn, throw me a nickel.
We're going to wrap this up. Have a great day, everyone. More to come. For more information, you can contact us right here at the studio. Be sure to like, follow, and comment on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more content on Amp Media Productions and the Brooklyn Cafe Show. And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
I think I found my new one.
I like it.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.